Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the NFC East and going over who I think will win the division in the upcoming 2021 season. But before that topic, question for those of you viewing, I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you think the standings will be in the division? Who do you think will be first, second, third, and fourth? Comment down below. Kind of hear my answer throughout. Getting straight into it, though, NFC East, Washington, Dallas, New York, and Philadelphia. A lot of people claim this division to be the worst division in football, and while I do in a way agree with that opinion, I don't think we're going to see a division so bad that the winner of the division is going to be below 500 again. I do think the division is much more improved this year. Washington just getting their defense more experience, more reps together, bringing in a little bit of an upgrade with Fitzpatrick, Dallas getting Dak back, Eagles just being healthier, and the Giants getting Saquon back in a pretty good offseason as well. I do think this division will have a lot better winning percentage than they did last year. Again, I don't think it's the AFC North or NFC West, but I still think it will be a more improved division than it was last year. Looking at kind of what each team favors on their side in the division, I would say Washington, I think a lot of people would agree, have the best defense. No discredit to the other ones. I would say Giants and Eagles are kind of fighting for second place in who has that best defense. I think a lot of people overlook the Eagles' defense. I think they're pretty good. But again, I don't want to oversimplify Washington. I should go over their talent. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, some great pass rushers that are on the come up. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. That's arguably the best front four in football. They're all former first round picks. Jamin Davis is going to be a rookie linebacker, but he's really filling a hole that they had. Secondary is looking strong. Kendall Fuller, Landon Collins, William Jackson, Bobby McCain, Cameron Curl, and Ron Rivera to coach it all in that offense. You got Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, Fitzmagic, who doesn't love to watch him, a stout O-line, and Antonio Gibson, an upcoming running back as well. Washington's looking like a pretty well-rounded team for the most part. New York, I think this is a team with either the second or third best defense. And, again, I think the Eagles' defense is very good. So even if you are, whichever the two are the third best defense, that's still not a bad defense. The Giants they had a pretty good offseason, not just in signing players in free agency, but in the draft as well, acquiring draft capital for the future. I'm a big fan of what they did, and I do think the Giants will be a great team for the future years. I think they have one of the brightest futures in the NFL. They added Adoree Jackson to help out James Bradbury and Logan Ryan, and what else they got back there? Jabril Peppers. Leonard Williams was kept. They got Blake Martinez. They drafted Aziza Jewelry out of Georgia, another pass rusher. Giants defense is pretty solid, but like I said, the Eagles is good too. You have Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay. They signed Anthony Harris. They signed Steven Nelson. They're slowly but surely creeping up to be a very, very good defense. Fletcher Cox was one of the highest graded defensive tackles in the league. In the offensive line, once it's healthier, Jaelen Hurts could work some magic. The Cat was fun to watch last year, but he did go 1-3, and he's still going to have a situation with the receivers. They're banking a lot on Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor to pan out. Zach Ertz still doesn't seem too committed to the Eagles. Dallas Goedert's pretty good. I'm just not buying too much into the Eagles. I do think they're probably going to be the worst team in this division, but that doesn't mean they can't turn things around. They have the potential to have 3 first-round picks in this upcoming year, so they got a bright future. And then, of course, Dallas, if you guys are waiting to hear about that, they have one of the more explosive offenses with Dak coming back, a healthier line. Dak, hopefully Zeke and Tony Pollard, someone will emerge to be a great running back out of that backfield. Amari Cooper, of course, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Blake Jarwin. The defense does concern me. I think they're overpaying a couple guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith, but if they could turn around, Micah Parsons being brought in to help the draft. They got Trevon Diggs, who's on the come up. They brought in Keanu Neal. They brought in a lot of rookies on the defensive side. I think they took a defensive player in the first, second, third, fifth, sixth, and seventh or something. Or I think they took 5 players out of the 7 rounds in the NFL draft on defense. It might have been first, second, third, fifth, and sixth, something along those lines. They just really attacked the defense. It's going to take time to develop because they're all rookies, but I do think they're stepping in the right direction. As far as my standings right now, I do think it's a big question mark because the Giants, they're one of those teams that have arguably the best roster in the division, but might have the worst quarterback in this division. So that's really hard to say. They'll win at Washington. I love their defense. Defense wins championships. As of today, I would say Washington is holding the crown as a division winner for me. They won it last year. Yes, Dak is coming back, but I just really believe in their defense. I believe in Ron Rivera. I believe in the additions they made in this offseason. I think Fitzpatrick is going to have his best year yet. I know it's rare to see that out of a guy that's 38, 39, is known for interceptions, And there's going to be plenty of games where he has his Fitzpatrick moments of having 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, but the next game having 150 yards, 3 interceptions. But I think if Ron Rivera could get him in the right system of just being conservative, telling him we don't need you to carry the team, we just need you to not drag the team down. We just need you to be a game manager. Kind of a negative term for quarterbacks, but that's really all Washington needs for success out of this division, a game manager quarterback. And I think with a lot of safety blankets and a great receiver in Terry McLaurin, a great safety blanket in Logan Thomas, a great receiver and a receiving back in Antonio Gibson, and even a backup back, and J.D. McKissic's got some hands as well. I like Washington to possibly win this division. I do think Dallas is on their toes with the great offense that they have, and it could come down to a division rivalry or a division game. You know, I think Washington closes out the season with 5 division games. I'm not sure the exact order, but I want to say it's like Dallas, New York, Philadelphia, or something like that, or Philadelphia, Dallas, New York, something along those lines. They close out the season with 5 division games, and I guarantee the rankings or the standings or the seedings, whatever you want to call it for that division, is going to end up being based off the last 5 weeks of football in Washington's schedule. Personally, again, the quarterback play is a huge question mark in this division. You know, I think the Giants and Washington has arguably the better roster than Dallas, but Dallas easily has the best quarterback. They have a top 10 quarterback. The other guys have bottom 10 quarterbacks. So it's a real game changer. It's a real big question mark and wild card type of guess in this division. Personally, I'm betting on Washington's defense over Dallas's offense. I think theoretically, if they were to cancel out, not saying they are, but if they were to, I would bet on Washington's offense over Dallas's defense, and therefore I think they have a better chance of winning the division. And winning the division, again, I don't expect them to go 7-9 again and below 500, but I also don't expect them to go 13-4. I think winning the division is going to be 9-8, 10-7, 11-6. You know, right over the hump of being 500. Nothing spectacular. Not winning the NFC by any means, but I'm also not ruling out the option of 2 teams making it out of the NFC East. I'm not saying it's likely, especially when you got the NFC West, Seahawks, Rams, Niners, Cardinals, all 4 hoping to be playoff teams. Then you got some other teams. You know, the Vikings, Packers want to make it in. Maybe the Panthers make a run. It's going to be in tight contention this year in the NFC and both the AFC. We'll just have to see how it turns out. Like I said, I like Giants' future, but I can't bite off in Daniel Jones as of right now. I think he has potential to prove us right or prove us wrong, whichever way you're voting for him or thinking about him, because he's got the weapons in Kenny Golladay, Saquon Barkley, a great defense, Kadarius Toney. The ball's in his court. He controls his own fate, and if he does want to be a franchise quarterback, he needs to take this team to the top of the division. I think he can, but as of right now, until that actually comes into fruition, I'm going to bet on what I have seen, and I'm betting on Washington defense, and I've seen that be a top 3, top 5 defense. The other teams, they just have too many question marks. Washington right now, their biggest question mark is what about Fitzpatrick? Theirs is how's Dak after injury? How is Zeke? How is the O-line going to be healthy? How is the defense going to be clicking together? Is Mario Cooper still going to keep, you know, he's not actually regressing by any means, but last year, I feel like a lot of people lost hope in him. Is that going to continue? We'll just have to see. New York, you know, even though they don't have as many question marks as Dallas, I feel like their question mark at quarterback is a bigger question mark than Fitzpatrick. I know I'm getting a little speculative here, but still, I just don't see it happening this year. Philadelphia, I like them in the future as well. I like the Giants due to the amount of draft capital they have and the amount of talent they already do have. They just might need to make 1 or 2 more off seasons, make some big moves in 1 or 2 more off seasons for these teams to be some serious contenders. But as of right now, I got Washington, Dallas right behind them, Giants right behind them, and Eagles right behind them. But the fun thing about this division, it's so discombobulated. You could argue anyone is the best team, and you could also argue they're the worst team. It's not like the AFC West where it's pretty understandable that the Chiefs are at the top and there's no debate. This one, there's a lot of debate, and therefore there's a lot of room for flexibility and just overall change for this division to come out or have the outcome that no one is expecting. We'll just have to see what happens. I do think Giants and Dallas can give Washington a run. I'm not saying Washington's going to steal the division or easily win the division or dominate the division. Just if you're telling me I have to bet money, I'm going with the Washington football team. You guys tell me, though, where's your standings? Again, I got Washington, Dallas, Giants, Eagles, all better than they were last year, though. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.